Okay, uh, so this is gonna be a really short video where I go through some of the books that I'm hoping to read before the year ends. So I looked at my story graph and somehow I've read 37 books this year. It's way less than some of the years, but it's also way more than a lot of the years that I've been reading and tracking my reading. So it just is what it is. I have not analyzed any of this data yet, but just to put it out there, I've read 37 books so far, right? And I need to get to my 100 books, my physical TBR, before I purchase some more, or just in general, I should read all the books that I have. And I'm working on getting to that, but as you already know, there's not a lot of time left in the year for me to do a lot of reading now. So since I've read 37 books, I thought 3 books should be doable if I hustle. And yeah, so I have a little TBR of the books that I need to read by the end of the year, and also some books that I would like to read by the end of the year. What I'm calling my hinged and my unhinged TBR for the rest of the year. So I'll just start with the hinged, or the proper, like, achievable TBR that I have for the rest of the year, for the rest of December, which is 3 books. So I'm gonna do a reading all my 100 books series, and it's gonna be released in parts. And for the first part of that series, I need to read just one book. It's called The Dragon's Promise. And because it's been a while since I read the first part in that duology, Six Crimson Cranes, the first book that I need to read before the year ends is Six Crimson Cranes, and then I can read The Dragon's Promise. Just look at this. Look at how beautiful this book is. I'm not sure how clearly it's visible, but stunning book. And finally, the third book that I would like to read before the year ends is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Yeah, no explanation. I want to read this, okay? And it's cold and it's wintry and it's dark, and this is like a gothic dark book. Just fits the vibes, It's dark at 4, it's dark at 5, but pretty soon it'll be dark at 4, and then pretty soon we'll have no sunlight for like 10-20 days. I really hate that time of the year, but I've got books like this to keep me company. So I hope that I can read The Familiar as well as these 2 books before the year ends. I'm a little optimistic about being able to read Six Crimson Cranes and The Dragon's Promise, because I've read Six Crimson Cranes, and yeah, it's a huge book. It's like 400 and something pages, almost 500 pages, but it's like it's so easy to read. It's so imaginative. It's a good book. I'll talk about it more when I vlog about it or review it. But yeah, I think that at least these 2 books are achievable. Wish me luck. And now for the unhinged part of my TBR, I want to read 3 more books. Ideally, I would read 5 more books and hit like 45, which is a good number. But even I know that that's not going to be possible with the handful of the days that we've got left in the year. So I want to read This Savage Song by V.E. Schwab. Then I want to read Our Dark Duet, again by V.E. Schwab. It's a duology, these 2. Monsters of Verity duology. And then I want to read Babel, because dark academia, and I associate dark academia books with winter time. Usually I used to read those in November, but with the weather shifting, I can read them in January. It's cold, everyone's wearing turtlenecks and sweaters and coats and jackets and blazers, so it really ties in and everything is gray and dark academia-ish, really fits the aesthetic. So yep, that was my little hinged and unhinged TBR for the rest of the year. So wish me luck. I hope I can get to it. Alright, good. Bye. Now I'm gonna put these back.